Hello and welcome back to another video. I want to go over where I find support and resistance levels at, trends, and so forth. This is actually coming from one of my students' questions, and he was talking about how to find the trend, how to find where the big money is trying to go to, the big boys at the hedge funds and banks and so forth. Where do they want to go to? So I thought I'd do a video on it. Now, this is typically how I have my chart set up. All right. I don't have any indicators on it. I just have, my candlesticks on here. And this is the way I color them because I'm colorblind. So this works better for me. It's just kind of a light blue and a dark blue. I could tell you the hex values of them, but I couldn't tell you exactly what colors they were. I guess this is an aqua color and a navy. I don't know. But so this is what I'm looking at. And when I do this on the 240 chart or the 4-hour chart. I do not do this on a lower time frame. I honestly, I don't do this on the daily time frame. I always do it on the 4-hour. And you can do this on any chart for, any currency pair. It doesn't really matter. So where we're looking at right now is this downtrend here, and we're trying to figure out where is it going, where's the big money trying to push the money to. So I'm going to drop a line in right here. All right, and where I start, I don't start here to just try and guess. I actually go all the way back, and we're going to start back here, okay, all the way down at the bottom. Now, typically I don't use any indicators, but for this, I actually do use an indicator, and I like to use the Donchian channels. So here we have the Donchian channels, and I am going to modify this a little bit. All right. First off, I want to take out that center line. I don't really need that. Make these a little bit bigger. And then for the inputs, the standard is 20. I don't usually stick with the standard. I like going up to 36. So here I am at 36, all the way back here at the beginning. And where I see these lines, all right, that is where I'm going to start placing my my support and resistance levels. So as we can see, this is kind of an uptrend. So we had this downtrend. It broke right through it, so that tells us that we're in an uptrend now. So I'm just going to start placing these lines here. All right, now typically let me go through this. What I'm looking for are what are called fractals. So here we're looking for a candle that sticks down lower than 2 of the ones to the right and 2 of the ones to the left. So you can see here that this actually sticks down lower than the 2 to the right and the 2 to the left. All right. It's no different than, the opposite way. All right. Where you have the one in the center, which is 2 to the left and 2 to the right. So if we just remove this Donchian channel for a second, all right, and let's kind of zoom in here a little bit. All right, let's just take this one right here. All right, we can see that this particular candle's wick, all right, it is higher than 2 candles to the right and 2 candles to the left. So this is what we call a fractal. All right, this is a fractal. This is a fractal. This is a fractal. These are all fractals. All right, so this is a fractal. We see that this is lower than the 2 to the left and the 2 to the right. This is lower than 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and so forth. So that's essentially what I'm looking for. All right, and this helps me look at that easier, much easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start dropping in our lines here. All right. And we're just dropping in lines wherever we have these very large, flat spots in our Donchian channel. All right. And as we continue to go up, we're just going to continue to place these lines. All right. So let's place another one and another one. And you're going to see what I mean here in just a second. All right, so let's place a few of these. All right. So here we are. And here's a nice little flat spot as well. All right, so on the way up, when we're actually looking at a uptrend, all right, what we're doing is we're placing it at the support levels for the uptrend. All right, so we have it down here. We have, we've got a few in here, a few fractals in here, and it's kind of good because it breaks up this space a little bit. All right, so we have a couple in here. We have some smaller ones in here as well. I'm not going to go too crazy with this, but we can see that all these, all the way from back here going all the way up, are just different levels of support. Okay, now as we get into looking at our downtrend, all right, so we've broken this uptrend and now we're starting to come down. All right, I'm looking for these to be my next targets, all right, because this is where big money wants to come to. All right, so we can see, it starts to come down to this level yet. It falls. Right? So this is our next target. All right, is that we're expecting price to hit this level, and as we see, it does just that. All right, and before we get there, all right, we can see that it hits it and then starts to retrace back. So now that this level is gone, this level is gone, the next one that we have is this one. All right, and I expect price to actually tag both of these because this is a very small area here, and as we see, boom, it hits this level, and we can see it goes right to that level. All right, it doesn't come all the way through. It just hits that level and stops there for a moment. All right, it might retrace, it might not, I don't know yet, but here we see on the next candle that it doesn't. All right, so let's move this in just a little bit. All right, so now that this level's taken out, this is the next level that we expect price to move to. All right, and we're just going to see it retraces back a little bit, and then bam, right back to that level, to that next level. Can you see how powerful this is? We know exactly where the big money is pushing the money by just placing these support and resistance levels. You see that? And we see it just hovers there. It just hovers right there at that level. That's what we're looking for. All right. We see it hit. We see it, pull back slightly. We see it hit. We see it pull back slightly. All right. We can see that it's pulling back. All right. And then it starts to drop again. So our next expectation is that price comes all the way down to this level. And I don't think it's made it there yet, because this is kind of where we're at now. All right. But that's where we expect price to push to. All right, this 110,575 level. All right, this is where I'm expecting price to come to next, because this is where the big money wants to push it to. All right, and if I push this here, if I place this level here, right where price had come to before it retraced, I bet you that if I go back, let me actually change the color of this. I bet you if I go back, I can spot levels right here where price has come to. All right, look at that. Boom. And I could just probably keep going back. And look at this. Look at this long line here. All right, that tells me, boom, that's where it hit. All right, so we can see, we can see that price came right to that level, all right, in the past. So this is where big money is pushing this, money to. So we've seen it hit this line. What's the next level? It's this 110.57 level, all right, and then we should see it push, lower, hopefully. We don't know, I can't tell you the future, but I can tell you that I have a good high probability that this price is going to push down to this 110.57 level. There's a very high probability that it's going to do that. So this is how I find trades for trend continuation. All right, I see where it's hitting. All right, I wait for the price to retrace up a little bit, and a lot of times I'll use my Fibonacci. So I'll take, from A to B, boom, we have a 38.2 retracement, boom, it falls. All right, now we come to the next level, it retraces. Let's see how far it retraces. Boom, a 38.2% level. Falls to the next one. All right. And this actually falls, through a little bit before it retraces. But let's see where the retracement comes to from here. This comes up into the 50%. The 50% is really good. I really like the 50% level, but it's not something that I have to take. So you can see that the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% levels are red. I have them, done as red. At least it's red as far as my wife tells me that it's red, because again, I'm colorblind. But I can see that this is much different than all the other colors. All right, so I just want that price to retrace into the 38.2 to 61.8% level. I don't really care where. When I see this, I start dropping down to the lower time frames, to the 1 hour and the 15-minute, to actually make my entries. All right, because I want to see where that price is turning over. All right, but this isn't a video on how to actually enter. It's just where to find where the money's going. All right, where are the big boys trying to push the money? And we can find that by using the Danchin channels and by finding these support and resistance levels. I don't really consider them zones, as a lot of people consider, this is a zone in here. Well, that's not the way that I do it. And that method is not wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong. It's just not the way that I do it. This is the way that I do it. I grab my Danchin channels, and just to recap, all right, I get my Danchin channels and I start placing lines on the support levels where there's some large flat areas of the Danchin channels on the way up, all right, during an uptrend. And similarly, all right, we're now in a downtrend, all right, so let me get rid of these drawing tools, remove all drawing tools. Now, on the way down, all right, what I'll be doing, let me change this back to black, is I'm going to start placing these lines, and this is a big level, so I'm going to use this one to kind of split it. All right, I'm using these levels to find my levels so that when it starts going to the upside, this is my targets on where I'm hoping that it's going to go. All right, and I have a very good high probability that it's going to do so. Let's just take another. Here, we'll take the Aussie dollar. All right, so here we have the Aussie dollar. We're in a downtrend here, just like we were before. All right, and we're gonna take this uptrend, and I'm not gonna do this whole thing. I'm gonna start I'll start from here, from the bottom. All right, and I'm just going to go through and just really quickly do this. It's not something that I'm going to take a lot of time, looking at. There's really nothing in here, so there is one over here that'll split it. There's nothing really. There's this one. And again, I'm just looking for these areas. Okay, so we're going to start up here. All right, so now the price is coming down. All right, we see that it's hit these levels and is just kind of, trending sideways at this point. All right, boom, it comes down, it hits the next level. All right, this one doesn't retrace as much. It doesn't stop here and retrace, but it hits it and just, it starts to move sideways a little bit right here. All right, where does it come to next? All right, it may take a little bit of time to actually get there because we are on the 240 chart, all right, the 4-hour chart. But that is where, this line, it came right there, boom, and just kind of hovered there. All right, so now where are we expecting it to go to? We're expecting it to go down here to the next one. All right, it retraces and it starts to push lower. All right, it may take some time to get there, but this is where we're expecting it to come to. So that's how I find my levels, and I just wanted to share it with you because it was something that came up from one of my students on how I find my levels for trend continuation trading. So just wanted to share it with you. If you enjoyed this video, if you've gotten something out of it, leave a comment below the video and let me know what you thought. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. So until next time, good luck and happy trading.